Hey, my brothers, thank you for joining me today because today we're going to be going over several different United States Marine Corps field and utility fighting knives and a couple of modern issue bayonets and some budget options. All right. So jumping right into it, the KABAR came around as kind of a generalized term name. Union Cutlery Company was kind of adopted the name KABAR after a bear killing incident with one of their pocket knives and everything. And in World War II, the government put out a contract to bring about a new field utility knife. In around 1942, this is kind of what they came out with. This knife was made by several different companies, Union Cutlery Company under the name of KABAR, as well as Camillus. Ontario made some, I believe. And there were a few other companies that were making it. But they're all pretty similar. So this is kind of what the United States Marine Corps said that it needed. And this is what they all came out with. All of your KABAR style knives, they've all got stacked leather washers, at least the older ones do. Now, obviously, there are some modern versions of them that do have craton handles and everything. They're all pinned in there. Most of them are rat tail tangs with a guard and a fuller or blood groove, if you will. They usually have a clip point on there. Some of the clip points are a little bit more pronounced than others. Or the swedge is a little bit more pronounced than others, as I mean. Now, on your actual KABAR, this is the USMC field knife, all right? You can see here it's American-made, Olean, New York. That's where KABAR's USMC fighting knife is made at. Is a black paint that's on there, and it does scratch as you sharpen it. So that's going to be kind of normal wear and tear over the years, you know. Maybe, there's a lot of different ways to combat that. You can always tape that up. I personally don't. I kind of like the look of them. I like them being worn out and showing that kind of use. And I've actually got another KABAR. I can't find it. I've got a funny story about that KABAR. It's been lost for, I don't know, a year or so, and I've had it the better half of 15 years. This one just kind of got thrown into my rucksack, and I had a beater KABAR, and I've lost that other KABAR like 3 times, and it always gets found somehow, so I'm waiting to see until it pulls up. All right, this is made out of KABAR, actually makes their steel out of 1095 Crovan, which has a higher amount of chromium, if I'm not mistaken. Feel free to correct me on that if I'm wrong, which gives it they state that it gives it better edge retention. That will make it a little bit harder to sharpen, but it's supposed to be a little bit more it would actually be more corrosion resistance since it has a higher amount of chromium in it, and that's probably why they have that black coating on the blades. Okay, but I've never really had a problem with my KABARs rusting. Just like with any knife, you need to make sure you maintain your blades. Okay, and your KABAR nowadays, this video is being made in May of 2020. May of 2023. Man, I've been in the field for like 3 days and my brain is just not working, so you guys will have to bear with me in any kind of mistakes that I make, okay? The KABAR nowadays is about $95, man, or $120, just depending on which retailer you go with. So you don't have to have the exact KABAR, right? I'm a Marine. I like all kinds of Marine Corps fighting utilities, but there's a lot of different options out there for you. Some of them are going to be a little bit more budget friendly, so we're going to discuss some of those kinds of things. All right, so you've got, your $95 to $100 range. The next one up that I'd like to show you guys, this is the USMC fighting utility knife by Case XX. And it is super cool. This one is actually made to look like the legitimate World War II issued fighting knife. The blade is Parkerized, as some people call it, or a zinc phosphate. The swedge on it actually comes sharpened. So really cool. Now, I would like to state, most of these knives, when you get them in from whichever manufacturer you're getting them, they'll come a little sharp, but it's about sharp enough to open a can. You're really not going to be doing any fine whittling with these. You're going to need to put your own edge on them depending on what your use for on the knife is. Again, it's got stacked leather washers, similar to the KABAR. Now, some of them, of course, have craton nowadays. I don't think I own any well, I do. I have that Ontario over there. We'll get into that one in a minute. So obviously over the years, if you don't take care of the leather, it is more prone to damage. All right, let's take a look at here on the pins. They all have rat tail tangs. They got a single pin, actually a dual pin in the case in the end of it. And it just really looks, it looks just like a World War II fighting knife. I really love just the look of this knife. It just looks old fashioned, man. I really like that in a knife. It look cool. Plus, it's got that E.G.A on there. It just really pops out a lot more. Now, I know the KABARs come in different colors and stuff, so you can definitely make that pop out. Here's a difference on the two sheaths on those two so you guys can see. All right, now, next one here, this is going to be from Ontario. Oh, I'm sorry. Price point on the Case XS, on the Case XX is about $85. So slightly cheaper than the KABAR, and it gives you that World War II look, and it does come with the sharpened swedge again. All right, now the next one here, this is going to be Ontario. This is the Ontario 498. It's a little sticky in the sheath, but it does come with a black sheath. This knife in May of 2023 is around $65. It is parkerized. It has a zinc phosphate coating, and the swedge is not sharpened. Typical of Ontario knives, it does not come very sharp. It's not that much different than a butter knife. Now look at the fit and finish here. So we've got this leather handle, and let's take a look at this case one here on these stacked washers. And look at the difference in it. Look at the bottom. Look how clean and fine that is. And then look at your Ontario. It's kind of boogery and nasty around the edge there. Yeah, it's black, you know. But hey, it works. And, you know, for $65, you're saving a little bit of money nowadays, you know. $30 or $40 can buy you a whole nother knife, all right? And over here, we've got the Ontario SP1. Now, for you guys that are wanting to do like some bushcraft, all right, or you just want a beater KABAR, I mean, I'm going to suggest that you get this one. You don't have to feel bad about messing up this knife. I modified mine. I cut this off. It actually has a thicker tang. All of your other field utility knives are going to have that rat tail tang, and this one's going to be a little bit fuller. Now, this is on an SP6. This might have been a heat treatment issue, but as you guys can see the difference in the tang length, look at that. Look at that tang difference. I think that this knife was a one-off that broke. I was abusing it pretty heavily. I don't think that that's going to be standard. We're going to see. If you guys stick around for some of those other videos, you'll see kind of what happens in that and how that one holds up. Okay? But once again, the SP1 does not come very sharp. It is American made. It doesn't come with a sharpened swedge. But I had a gentleman down there while I was at Essie and Randall's training. He put a mirror polished, just a super sharp edge on this thing, and I use this for a full day of doing various activities with it. Fine work, tough work, all that stuff. I'm going to be putting this one through a lot heavier duty paces and everything. And for the price point, I think this one comes in at around $45 as of today. I mean, it's a really great option. I mean, it's half the price of a KABAR. You are getting a bigger tang and, a larger, fuller tang, and then it's got a craton handle, so a lot less maintenance. Now, this one is made of 1075 steel, so it should sharpen a little bit easier. But you know, we'll have to see how the heat treatment is going to do on this when we start putting it through the test. And by the way, guys, I'm going to be putting a field review through on all of these. We'll do some heavy testing on all of them. All right, so let's talk about some more modern knives, right? Nowadays, in the United States Marine Corps, you're getting issued something like this. This is by Ontario. This is the OKC3S, okay? It is a hybrid bayonet and fighting utility knife. All right, and let's take a look at the two differences in these, because now we have two of them out. It's been around for a while. So this knife kind of came out around 2002, 2003, and began being issued to troops, well, United States Marines, I should say. And on this one here, let me zoom y'all in. You can see on here, I'll wet this for you guys so you can see a little bit better. Okay, C3S Ontario Knife Company, and then on the other side, you can see that KABAR USMC. All right. Now, the Marine Corps issue one is serrated. It does have a sharpened swedge. This is an 8-inch blade comparatively to the 7-inch blade of the KABAR. Let me zoom y'all back out. So you got a full inch up here on the modern Marine Corps fighting knife. All right. Also a rubberized handle. You guys will have to forgive me. I did not have the specs right in front of me. It's called HereTech or something like that. I'll correct it in a comment right below here so you guys can see. Again, it's got a zinc phosphate on there. It is a serrated edge down here at the bottom, and it is a double sharpened edge. That's for use with piercing body armor. Some of my fellow Marines who were being goofballs in the barracks would know that if we kind of stuck these things in each other in our body armor and stuff, playing around with them, know that why that's a double edge, and that is for piercing body armor. And you can see the United States Marine Corps stamp in the bottom with an E.G.A. on the top, and then the clips for your bayonet rifle going through there. You know, as a Marine, when you're issued these things, they are more or less just an extra weight. And on deployments, it was not uncommon to just throw them in the bottom of the sea bag. That way you didn't have to worry about losing it and have that gear accountability. Nobody wants an NJP. I did see guys get NJP'd for losing this thing, as well as sending the entire company downrange to look for a missing bayonet for hours at a time. Now, if you order a modern one, all right, this one was kind of in circulation with that stamping on there until about 6 or 7 years ago. Now, the modern ones, they no longer say United States Marine Corps on the, sorry, again, been out in the field a minute, on the Ricasso, I guess was what we'll call it, the OKS 3S Combat, and then Ontario Knife USA. Now, you'll still have United States Marine Corps down here on the bottom and an E.G.A. That's the two differences. I don't know if they are actually issuing this one now with this writing to the military. I don't know if they've already fulfilled their contracts. Maybe they just have these in surplus now. It's not uncommon to find these pre-owned with all kinds of marking on the bayonets, and that's from the armory. They'll write like A1, A2, that way they know which one goes where whenever they're storing it in the armory. Another difference between these two bayonets on the sheaths is the one that I was issued starting in, back in 2003. Now, I was in 2006, is here you won't see Ontario Knife Company on here, all right? It's all tucked up underneath the MOLLE webbing. All right, and you do have dual MOLLE webbings. You mount it upside down. You mount it on all kinds of stuff, okay? On the modern ones, you'll see that OntarioKnife.com on the side, as well as right here, Ontario Knife Company USA. Both of them have a honing rod in the back. You can kind of nick the little burrs and stuff out of. All right, now, those are pretty expensive, right? If you buy a brand new one, you're looking at $140. Now, you can get a good surplus version off of eBay for usually around $100, okay? Or if you want a budget option, right, the same knife made by Ontario, all right, this one's a little bit more civilian friendly. So you've got a craton handle, no bayonet stuff in the back. You can shave off this guard if you want to, like I did on that SP1. The swedge is not sharpened, so you can actually beat on it and baton on it. Now, heads up on this, guys. This is actually the knife that broke on me, okay? I was doing a review on it. It was my first day, and I busted it, right? I busted it abusing it. That being said, I think the knife still should have held up. I think I just got kind of a rare one-off on there, but you never know. So we're going to be retesting that review or that knife review on here. And one thing I will say about Ontario is their customer service is awesome. I emailed them. I said, hey, I broke a knife. I sent them a picture, and they had me a knife in the mail like within a couple of days. They didn't ask for my receipt, none of that stuff. They just took care of me, and that was really awesome. And I do have to send this one back to them, but I wanted to keep it for this review, so I am going to send that back to them so they can get it to the warranty company. I asked them to tell me what they thought the issue was, if it was me being, a retard, or if it was legitimately a heat treatment issue. We don't know if they'll get back to me, but guys, in the bottom of this link, I am going to post in the bottom of this video, I am going to post a link to a fellow named Semper Fi Guy. He's a fellow U.S. Marine. He does an awesome history lesson on the KABAR's fighting knives, and I think you guys should really watch that. I'll also post some links down, some Amazon associate links down at the bottom of this video for you guys who are interested in it and you want to see what the prices they're going for. This one here is about $45. So it is half the price. It's a third of the price of buying a OKC3S brand new. A third of the price, man. And again, if you're wanting to use this for field purposes, I think you'll find this one probably a little bit better than these. But stick around, guys. And also at the end of the video, I'm going to start posting some links as the video goes on to different reviews that I'm going to be doing on all of these knives. We'll all be getting field tested. We'll all get a chance to look at them in the field, out of the box use. Well, some of them will be out of the box use. Some of them have already been used. And then as well as sharpening them. Thank you, guys.